All right, so in this video, we are going to learn the algorithm for multiplying decimals. Some of you may have figured this out already through our work this week, but we're all gonna get to see the formal way to do it. So for our vocabulary, I just want to distinguish, we kind of use these terms interchangeably, but a decimal point is that small dot that divides the whole values from the partial values in the number. And a decimal is the number that contains a decimal point. So we're going to start off by reviewing the method for long multiplication. So you start by putting the longer number up on top, the number with more digits on top, and then the other number underneath. And you just pull them both so that they're flush against the right-hand side, I guess. And then you are going to multiply the 9 by the 5. That's your first step, the 9 by the 5. And that gives you 45. But just like with long addition, we don't actually write down the 4 down there yet. We just want to keep the 5. So the 4, instead, we write that up at the top because we know that's going to be part of the next place value because it's in the tens place, not the ones place. So then we do 9 times 2, and that gives us 18. We have that extra 4, so we're going to add that 4. So our next step is 9 times 2 plus the 4. And that gives us 22. And we just write it down that whole number because there's no more digits that we have to worry about. So the answer for 25 times 9 is 225. Now, what about if we had a 2-digit times a 2-digit number? Let's say we were doing 25 times 29 instead of just times 9. So our first step is going to be exactly the same. We're going to multiply 9 times 5 and get 45. Put the 5 down and we'll carry the 4. And then 9 times 2 is 18 plus 4 is 22. So the first step is exactly the same. But for the second step, I'm going to switch to a different color. Now we've already used up that 9, so now we need to do the 2. Well, that 2 is like a 20 because it's in the tens place. It is a 20. And so that means that our next digit, our next row is going to need to have a 0 in the ones place because we're not dealing with 2, we're dealing with 20. And so that means we hold that ones place to show that we're now working in the tens place. So we're going to do 2 times 5, and that'll give us 10. So 10 has a 0, so I've got another 0, and the 4 is not, we don't worry about that anymore. You can erase it or just cross it out. And now we have a 1 to carry because 2 times 5 is 10. And so then I'll do my 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. Finally, I add together these two products. So I get 5, 2, and 7, 725. All right, so I completely understand if some of that was a little bit foggy for you from elementary school, but you'll pick it back up really quick. What we are going to be working on is if you have decimals. So let's say that instead of 25, we have 2.5. Instead of 29, we have 2.9. So now let's do that same math. So we're going to do the 9 times the 5. That still gives me 45. The 9 times the 2, that gives me 18 plus 2 is 22. I put in my placeholder 0. And then 2 times 5 is 10. So 10 is 1 0, so another 0 down. But now I have a 1 up top. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. I add them together, and now I have 725. But what? 2.5 times 2.9 cannot possibly give us 725. That is way too big. We know from our estimating that 2.5 times 2.9, that should be maybe something like 3 times 3. That should be like, at very most, it should be 9. right? It should be something less than 9 because I had to round up both of my numbers. So no way it's 725. So let's take a slight detour just for a second. Let's think about this back as fractions, see if we can figure out how to fix our problem. So if we have 2.5, that's the same as 25 tenths. And 2.9, that's the same as 29 tenths. And we just learned that if we multiply 25 by 29, we get 725. But we also have to multiply the denominators. We have to multiply 10 by 10 and get 100. And well, 725 hundredths, that is the same as 7.25. And that answer makes a lot more sense. That's less than 9, and we knew that this needed to be less than 9. So our decimal needs to go there. And logic tells us that that works. Our estimating tells us that works. But how do we see that math? Well, up at the top, we can see that the decimal place has moved over one spot here, and it's moved over one spot here, which means it moves over 2 spots here, because there's one spot here, one spot here, for 2 total places that the decimal needs to move over. All right, let's try one more example. Let's do 1.35 times 2.6. I want you to pause and see if you can do it on your own. So the first thing I want you to notice about how we set this up is that we are not lining the decimals up because we're going to need to move that decimal place in the end anyways. So there's no point in lining up the decimals. It'll just make things more confusing. It won't necessarily make your answer wrong, but it'll make it a lot easier for you to make a mistake. So if you tried doing it by lining up the decimals and you got derailed and it didn't work, maybe try it again now by setting it up my way. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our multiplication. And we're just going to pretend that those decimals aren't there. If you want to, you can even erase them or cross them out, as long as you remember to add it back in at the end. So we're going to do 6 times 5. That gives us 30. So we'll keep the 0 down below and carry the 3. 6 times 3 gives me 18, plus the 3 gives me 21. I'll keep the 1 part and carry the 10s, which is the 2. And then 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. So now I'm done with my 6. I've used up that 6. And at this point, a lot of people choose to erase the numbers up top so that they don't confuse them for the next round. So now I'm going to do 2 times 5, and that'll give me 10. But I forgot. I need to put in my placeholder 0. Now I can start. So 2 times 5 gives me 10. I'll put down the 0 and carry the 1. And then 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Notice I'm just moving over a spot each time. And then 2 times 1 is 2. Finally, I add my values. 8 plus 7 is 15, so I have to carry a 1, which gives me 3,510, which obviously is way too big. So that means I need to move my decimal. And since it moved 2 spots on the first number and 1 spot on the second number, it's going to move 3 spots in my final answer. And then I'm just going to look, and in my head, I'm going to do my estimating. I'm going to see, does that seem about right? Does something that's 3 times something that's 1 give me something that's about 3? Yes, it does. Great. All right, and so for your practice problem, you're going to do 23 and 74 hundredths times 1 and 2 tenths. So make sure to remember that you do not want to line up the decimals. You just want to move both numbers as far to the right as you can. Make sure to estimate to confirm that your answer makes sense. And then check your math carefully. Don't be afraid to re-watch the earlier section if you're still a little bit confused. We'll talk about this in class tomorrow. Good luck.